Okay, this is how we cut a rotisserie chicken. Most of the time these chickens are pretty soft and tender and they fall off the bone, but they still need a little cutting. So first things first, cut the string. Tends to hold it all together so you're not cutting into it. Let's get that. Let go. There we go. Alright, string cut. Next thing what we're going to do is, let's see if we can just go ahead and take the legs off. You cut just along the skin here, the leg and the thigh. You just kind of cut in, and you'll see it separates very cleanly from the breast. So here's the thigh, here's the breast. You just kind of cut along the base of it. See where the bone hits? Right in here. And it just kind of separates. You see there's usually a joint. You just cut right there. So there's the leg and the thigh mix. And to separate those, you kind of use the joints. Cut in. And to see where the joint is, right in there, you just kind of follow that along, and then it just separates. So you got a nice leg and a nice little thigh completely separate. Go ahead and do the other side. Same thing, cut along the skin. Kind of move the wing out of the way. There you go. And just kind of cut along. Where is it? Right in there. And if you hit any bone that just seems to be really solid, you just kind of start to pull, and you'll feel the different joints. This one seems to be a little. There we go. So there's your thigh. And again, we're going to separate that by, this one's falling apart. Cut in, find the joint, and then just cut right at the joint. So now there's your leg, and there's your thigh in little tiny pieces. Okay, next step, yummy. Good? Okay, next step is the breast and the wing. There's a couple ways to do that. You can carve it off the breastbone. I like to just cut through it, and it makes it easier, so make sure you have a really sharp knife and be careful. But the breastbone's right in the very center. You just cut through it, cut all the way down. Can I get through it here? There we go. And be careful because the bones can be a little sharp. So we cut through the back. So that's an entire breast and wing. And first thing I'm going to do is separate the wing out. Let's see if I can do this. It's kind of falling apart, but again, you find the joint, open it up a little bit, cut through as you're opening. That's really falling apart. You find that joint in there.
Oh, it smells so good. I
know, it smells yummy. And then you just cut right through it. So there's your wing, and this becomes the recognizable pieces that people know. Now you can serve this entire breast on the bone. You can do that. If you want to separate it, then you start to kind of come along. The breastbone, actually, on this one is on the other side. It divides on two ways. So you would carve along, so slippery, you would carve along the inside of it. Let's see where it starts. Right there. So you carve along the inside, and you just keep feeling for the bone. In this case, there we go, we're cutting along, cutting along. There it is, we separate it, okay? Same thing with the rest of this bone. You see that bone there? There's the rib cage. Kind of cut. You kind of cut and pull apart, cut and pull apart. And then you start to separate the rest of the meat from the bones. And then you'll end up with a boneless chicken breast. There we go. That had the wishbone on it. So now we have a completely bone-free chicken breast, and from here you serve it. You can slice it this way or shred it up if you want to. Get these bones out of the way, and we'll do the same thing on this side. This is already kind of coming apart, so we'll kind of just pull, and you'll see we just separate it from the rest of the back. Remove that. Again, this wing is probably just falling off here, but I'll do my best to try and remove it. without it just shredding. You look for that joint, kind of cut in there, separate, and you cut and separate, and that's how you're able to find that joint. And once you find it, there you go. You cut right through it. There's your wing. There goes all the skin with it. And again, we have another chicken breast. We'll separate it from the bone. Start to cut through. So you can pull, you can cut, and you just kind of feel your way with it. And what you don't want to do is just shred it up, because then you lose all the integrity of it. There's very little meat left on that. There's a little bit if you really want to pull it off. You get a little bit of an extra bite there. But for the most part, that's just fat in the bone. So remove that, and that gives us 2 breasts, 2 wings, 2 thighs, and 2 legs. That's it. Enjoy.